Hey y'all, it's me Alex. Today I'm coming at y'all with my July and August 2020 favorites video. Firstly, I want to address the elephant in the room. No, I did not post basically at all last week aside from the live that I have been doing every Saturday night with a few of my friends here on YouTube. I'm not going to go into detail. I've just been doing a lot. I started a new job. I have been having some chronic pain, extra issues, little flare-ups, so I decided that for once in my life, instead of powering through and making myself feel worse in the name of productivity, I might actually take a little bit of a step back, relax, make sure that I don't burn out, and I'm feeling back and better than ever, although since I haven't filmed in about over a week, this might be a little awkward for the both of us here, but it's okay. I figured a favorites video would be easy enough. That way, you know, we can just talk about some shit that I have been loving. I have a whole bunch of stuff over here. So yeah, I am super excited. I have a lot of stuff to share with y'all. This will probably be a super long video. And that's enough of an introduction. Y'all know what a favorites video is. Let's get into it. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of eyeshadow palettes because despite me being very anti-consumerist channel, I have been stress shopping a lot, which y'all will have known from my previous favorites video and just like all of the content that I've kind of been posting. So, you know, fall Alex will also be fiscally responsible Alex. That is the decision that I am making. Also, like, check these zebras on my dress. I just wanted to share that I have zebras on my dress. But this means that, you know, my favorite thing to stress shop for is eyeshadow palettes. So that's what I have a lot of here today. You will probably have seen most of these in some of my other videos. So I'm just gonna be shouting out all of the like greatest hits of all of them. Firstly, the NYX Ultimate Utopia palette. Now you will have seen that I did a full-on 3 looks on palette using this little baby, and this is absolutely beautiful. I think so many people sleep on NYX eyeshadows. I know that they're not like the greatest quality ever. They're not Anastasia, they're not Melt Cosmetics. I'm trying to think of another like iconic formula. I don't know, but these are really good. Like out of all of the drugstore shadows, I really like these and some of e.l.f.'s and some of CoverGirl's. So I think those are like the holy trinity of drugstore shadows for me. I really, really love this color scheme. I think that they did something very, very unique with this. I know they made like one of their giant palettes that's like $35 with this. It's like, wow, that's a lot of money for me, so I didn't get that one. And it was, I also just like am very scared of large eyeshadow palettes. Like this is 16 shades and this is about all I can handle. But this is really lovely because it has like, you know, definitely a good amount of neutrals in it, but it has a lot of colors in it as well, so you can get such a wide variety of looks out of this. I've been really leaning into a lot of palettes that kind of are half neutral, half colorful, because I do, now that I am a functioning adult with the job, I do have to tone it down upon occasion when I am meeting with like outside people. Like the people I work with don't care. I occasionally have to put on an air of professionalism, so something like this is very nice because I have been using a lot of the peachy tones up here. Like when I was actually interviewing for my job, all of the interviews in the process, I used all of the peachy tones to do my eyeshadow, so I think that this one is just a very good luck palette as well. This palette got me my job. I think that this is really fun. It's also very nice because, you know, there are a lot of like cooler, smokier tones towards the bottom, like some greens and some blues. It's like very muted, which is very interesting because I own a lot of green and blue eyeshadow, but I don't have anything quite like this. And it's very smoky. It's very different for me to work with. Like I'm still not entirely used to myself like looking at myself with like this sort of minty muted green shade here or something like that. So it is definitely like something that is a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm just not used to that on my face, but I think that these shadows perform so nicely. If you want a drugstore palette that is going to give you a wide variety of looks, I think you should absolutely look into this one. And also this green shimmer here, that is just my absolute favorite shade in this whole palette. It is really good. It is a good dupe for that one green shimmer in the ColourPop Good Sport palette. This has Good Sport palette vibes too if you did not get that palette and you want similar shades, although the neutrals in this are a little bit lighter than in that one. But for an $18 palette that you could definitely get a $3.50 off 15 coupon for at Ulta, this is fantastic. I love it so much. Let's talk about some melt palettes. Now, you'll see a lot of melt products in this favorites video because Melt has been having some very good sales, and I have just really been expanding my horizons into their collection because I've realized how much of their stuff really kind of appeals to what I need in my life right now, or what I desire in my life. I don't need more makeup, I desire more makeup.
What do you desire?
So the first one, you'll have seen a whole video on this. This is the She's in Parties palette. I am just obsessed with this. I haven't been able to use it as recently. Like, I used it a lot when I first got it. I haven't been able to use it as recently just because I have been trying to go a little bit more natural, a little less smoky on my eyes on a daily basis. This color story is everything to me, and this really added something to my collection that I didn't know that I needed. Because I'm a purple eyeshadow like fiend, you know, I kind of thought that I had everything. Look at this shadow, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you say my collection's complete? Wouldn't you say I'm the person who has everything? You know, that's me with purple eyeshadow. That's who I thought that I was. I realized that I wanted to be where the burgundy purples are. And this palette absolutely just stole my heart, did that for me, and it really added so much to my collection because yes, there's some very, very, very good mattes in here, but I realized I didn't have a lot of smoky, purpley burgundy shimmers, and this really did that for me. Now, while I think that probably you could have gotten rid of one of the darker ones and changed it to like a darker matte or something, I think that this has a very good variety of purple shimmers. I'm absolutely obsessed with these two lighter shades too. If there's ever a palette that makes me actually really enjoy the lightest shades perhaps the most in the palette, that's how I know it's a good one, because I'm not one who particularly cares for like super, super light makeup, like pastel-y type things or anything like that on my face. I feel like it washes me out just a wee bit. The fact that Skeleton Kiss and Strangelove are two of my favorite shades in this palette just absolutely tells me that this is a fantastic quality palette. I think that you can get a lot of like more neutral-ish shades, like looks out of this palette, but you can get some really beautiful like gothy, smoky, grungy looks, which I really love because I am an emo kid at heart. This is like grown-up emo. It's like emo kid turned into sad adult, but like make it fashion. That's this palette. And the other melt palette, this is one that I've been loving for just like working, and I think I put this in my last favorites video as well. This is the Gemini palette. I don't know why it took me this long to get this one because it's glorious. It is everything that I need, and it is just so nice because I think that this is like the NYX one was a nice kind of half neutral, half colorful palette. This kind of falls into that category as well of something, you know, that can be very intense, very smoky, very dramatic, but can also be really work friendly, and it kind of helps me incorporate color into my eye makeup, but in a way that is a little bit more professional, a little bit more business friendly, which, like I said, that's something that I've been really looking for in my eyeshadow right now. The shadows in this are such good quality. I just really love, I think right now probably my favorite shade is Lorelei here, which is kind of a warm tone mustardy brown. All of the shades just blend so nicely into one another that I've gotten just like such good use out of this. I also love the shade Mochi up here. That's also really fun and really easy to incorporate into like a more neutrally type look for my more natural days. Well, I never do like natural makeup, but you'll know what I mean. So this is top notch, and I don't know why I didn't get this sooner. Okay, I have two more palettes and then we're gonna go into some singles. Let's talk about what I'm wearing on my eyes today, which is the Ace Beaute Oceanic palette. And this is definitely the most colorful out of all of the palettes that I am mentioning today. And as you can see, this is definitely what I'm wearing on my eyes today. You will have seen this in my past two lives where I was swatching green eyeshadows and blue eyeshadows, because guess what? This has both of those. So today I'm wearing Fiji, Turtle, and Mykonos on my eyes. I ended up pulling in another shadow for my inner corner highlight just because this one doesn't really have a lot of inner corner highlights. I've never tried the Ace Beaute formula before this because I know it gets a lot of mixed reviews. And also Ace Beaute is a Black-owned makeup brand, which I need to mention because that is currently something, well, it should always be something that's important to me in my makeup buying habits, but I've been trying to be a lot more intentional about that here recently. So I'd never tried Ace Beaute before this, and the formula is not my favorite in terms of shadows, but I think that once you play around with it for a bit, you really get to know just like the ins and outs of how the shadows work, it can work absolutely beautifully for you. You just need to know how to like layer the different tones in order to get what you want. I know that this formula isn't everyone's favorite, and it is something that you definitely have to take a little bit of extra time. Hi, Editing Alex here. I'm editing my video, obviously, and I realized that I made a bad decision where I didn't pay attention to where my camera cut off, and I talked about like a lot of things in between then. So to finish off my review of the Beaute Oceanic palette, it is quite lovely. I think that it works great. It definitely takes a little bit more blending, but if you are willing to put in that effort and you really like the color story, I would say absolutely go for it. The shadows are very nice and pigmented. The shimmers are glorious and smooth and dimensional. So I think that that is absolutely wonderful. And then you will see the next clip is me talking about the Drench Cosmetics Cosmic Oasis palette, another black-owned makeup brand. It's just a very good kind of half neutral, half colorful palette, and hopefully the next clip of me will have a little bit more thoughts on it, and hopefully my cats will be a little bit quieter for me to edit because they have the zoomies. Okay, my camera cut out on me. I don't know how much I talked after it cut out on me, but long story short, the Cosmic Oasis palette is great. I really like the shadow formula. The mattes blend really nicely. Even the neutrals are interesting to me. In fact, I almost use the neutrals a little bit more than I use the colorful shades in this palette because I think that this is a very nice, like, work with a pop sort of palette. So I quite like this. I really hope that Drench comes out with even more eyeshadow palettes because I just really enjoy this formula. Like, the shimmers are smooth, the mattes are blendable. It is everything that I needed. So this is quite lovely. Okay, let's talk about some singles. So I'm gonna open up this palette and I'm gonna tell you that this is with a caveat that not all of the shades in this palette are in my favorites, but it is a very specific 3 right now. It'll probably be up to 5, but there's a specific 3 that I've been using so much recently. You will have seen that I did a video on the Shine by SD Cosmetics singles that I bought. Shine by SD is a Canadian black-owned makeup brand, and they make a whole bunch of single eyeshadows. So I have these 7 right here, the smaller ones. And I'm not a big fan of their mattes. Like, they take a lot of building up, and it just, I was able to get them to a place where they looked really good, but it was so much work that I'm like, no. But their shimmers are absolutely glorious. So there's a specific 3 that I am going to gently take out of the container and hopefully not destroy with my nails. So the first one is Jealous, which looks like this yellow one, but it's a duochrome actually. I have been using this in a combination with the neutral shades from the Melt Gemini palette as kind of a nice work but make it interesting look. And it's very fun because, you know, it starts off, well, they don't swatch super great without a good glitter glue, but it's very interesting because it's like a yellow but with like a light blue duochrome shift, and it looks really, really cool on the eyes. I'll just do a half cut crease with like all the neutrals from the Gemini in my crease, and then put some glitter glue down, pop this on top, and it just looks stunning. It's just so good. And then we have So Fine, also a duochrome. They have such an interesting texture that I don't know how to describe it. This one is kind of like a, I don't know how well y'all can see this. This is kind of like a purple into light blue sort of shift. I think that this is absolutely gorgeous. This one is also good for a half cut crease. I'll usually do like a purple in my crease and do this on the lid. And then the last one is Lilac Blue, also a duochrome. It's just, I have a thing for their duochromes. Their duochromes are quite beautiful. They make me very, very happy. This one is probably my favorite out of the 3 of them because, like, look at that shit. This one is probably the one that swatches best without eyeshadow primer. And it is exactly what the shade says it is, like what the name is, which is a lilac blue. It is really great. These are such good quality. They're very smooth. They're very pigmented. You definitely do have to use a glitter glue with them in order to really get their intensity, but I am such a fan of their shadows, so if you have been interested in trying them, their shipping definitely takes a while, and I highly recommend paying a little bit more for track shipping, because I was like, oh fuck, what if this is like the one time when like the postal service uses it, because it was like taking a little bit longer because, you know, Trump is defunding the postal service in the wake of a mail-in ballot election, you know, because that... Anyway, I highly recommend trying some of their duochromes. Probably once I, you know, have a little bit more of a makeup budget, I'm probably going to go back and buy a whole bunch more of their shimmers and duochromes. And they're just, these are absolutely lovely. Okay, I had to go wash my hands before I touched other things so that way I wouldn't create a gigantic mess around my house. So let's move into some non-eyeshadowy things I have in here. Specifically, let's talk about some eyeliner. So it's only really about this year that I've really gotten into doing any sort of colorful liner or anything like that. Like, I tried the ColourPop gel liners last fall-ish on my waterline and I really, really liked those. I'm kind of taking a break from ColourPop at the moment, so I have not bought any more. But that kind of made me realize like the power of a really good, just like matching inner, like, what is it, the waterline. A really good matching waterline to one's eyeshadow look. I'd heard really good things about Melt's liners. That, surprise, surprise, this is what my favorite is Melt's gel liners. I have two right here. I'd heard really good things from people who had bought it, but I was kind of like, man, I don't want to spend the money on it. But then they had this one, which is Wallflower. I forget, this is probably with one of their weed collections. I think this one came with their Amor Eterno collection. And I really love these. I was just like waiting for this one to come back in stock for me to try it because I was very interested in it. This is a really nice color. I love both of these sorts of tones. This is very much kind of Melt Gemini vibes. I've just been waiting for it to come back in stock, and honestly, once I got it, as you can see, I've been like a little bit of a heathen with it, but whatever. It no longer looks pretty inside there, but these are really nice. I use just like a very, 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 very tiny pencil brush. I've been trying to do some graphic liner a little bit, which is a little bit more patience than what I normally have when it comes to my eye makeup because I do have very shaky hands, but I think I've been doing pretty well, all things considered, when it comes to graphic liner. I even just use these in my waterline. They're really nice, and it's nice too because I think especially the shade Cultura is good because, you know, you could do like a really natural sort of wing liner in addition to sort of a neutral look, but like have it be interesting because it's not your standard black liquid liner. So these are just really fun. They're nice and creamy. I like them too because I used to use the NYX black gel liner, and even when I used primer, they would very much just like transfer into my crease, and these don't do that, which, you know, should kind of be the bare minimum for a good eyeliner, but you know, you get what you can get sometimes. So these are quite lovely. I am interested in picking up more, but these are definitely on the more expensive side, so I'm gonna wait for a good sale in order to pick up more. Okay, let's talk some lip products. Firstly, we're gonna go with what I have on my lips right now, which is a Melt lipstick. So I have a whole bunch of Melt lipsticks actually, because they had a very good National Lipstick Day sale. I believe the one I'm wearing, the one thing that I don't like about them is the packaging. Not because the packaging isn't beautiful, but they all look the same. So in order for me to pick out the lip color that I'm wearing right now, I went through all of them, and I have, I think, 7 at the moment, which is a little frustrating because even on the bottom, you know, you can see like they have the name there. It doesn't show like a color or anything like that. There's no like colorful sticker on there, so you really do have to guess. You have to know by like shade name, and when you buy a whole bunch of lipsticks at once, it all kind of blurs together. And I know that, like, you know, we're not wearing, you know, you're not going to be able to see your lipstick during a pandemic because we're all wearing masks. But this is for like in terms of filming and video chat purposes. I've been really liking these. So the one I am wearing right now is the shade Frisky, which is kind of a lighter, peachier, neutral sort of shade. I'm trying to step away from saying nude because what's nude for me is not nude for everyone else, so I'm just going with like neutral. And this is nice. I didn't anticipate me liking this one as much because it looked a little bit lighter on the website than it does in person, but in person it's really, like, it is a good neutral lip color for me. I like it a lot. And then we have On The Go, which is basically my favorite tone of neutral lipstick ever, which is like a brownie sort of nude, kind of like, this is like a creamier version of Matte Beauty by Milani, so this is really lovely. I also highly recommend only buying them on sale, mostly because the majority of my other favorite lipsticks are drugstore, so I don't really like paying full price for high-end lipsticks. And then the other one is Mum, which is like an orangey brownie nude, or neutral. This is an orangey brownie neutral, and I quite like this one as well. This is good for very like warm tone looks where you want a little something extra, where, you know, a peachier or a brownie nude might be a little off in terms of matching with your eye look, so I really like those. And speaking of other neutral lipsticks, I bought a lipstick from Propa Beauty, and firstly, this packaging though. This is just glorious. I really love it. This is probably my favorite lipstick packaging of all time. I got this in the shade Made It, which kind of falls into my love for like orangey neutral lipsticks. So this one is a little bit more bold, a little bit more orangey on me, because as you can see, I don't know if you know this, but I'm very pale. So this is really lovely. Propa Beauty is also a Black-owned makeup brand, and they have such a wide variety of just like neutral lipsticks that they're really lovely. And this is very nice and creamy. The Melt formula is a little bit more matte. This one is like kind of shiny, like more of a satin finish. That satin is a proper word, I would say, for this. And it goes on really nicely. You don't have to really prep it with lip balm or anything. It reapplies over itself very well as well. So I really like this formula. So I'm gonna be looking back and seeing, you know, if I potentially want to get some more. Lastly, we have this Drench Cosmetics lip gloss. They're called their Space Glazes. I forget what shade this is. It isn't on the bottom, so I'll have to look back in my order history in order to tell you which one this was. And I got this when I was ordering the Cosmic Oasis palette because I was interested in their lip glosses, but I wasn't sure how any of them would look on me. But this one is so nice. This is like a nice shimmery opaque one. There's not many glosses that I'm like holy shit over, aside from I like the Fluid Beauty glosses, and that's kind of it. And those definitely have a lot more of a clear base rather than a colorful base. And so this is the first like really kind of colorful based lip gloss that I've really liked. It's really cool because it's like a pinkier version of my natural lip color when I apply it. So it's very pinky and it has a lot of shimmer, but in a way that doesn't look like frosty or gross on the lips, because sometimes glitter can definitely lean that direction, but it doesn't like sink into my lip lines or anything like that, so it doesn't look weird. And this is really nice and comfortable too. I think the one thing that I do really enjoy about lip glosses is that they're significantly more comfortable than the majority of lipsticks that I enjoy, and this definitely falls into that category. Like I said with the Propa Beauty lipstick, no lip prep required, like no lip balm. Like, yes, you should wear lip balm, but that's just because lip balm is a good thing to wear, but it's not required with this, and this is just very nice. I quite like this a lot. Okay, let's move on to some skincare and one hair care product. Firstly, in terms of skincare, this is empty now. This is the Ordinary Hyaluronic Acid 2% plus B5. I'm not a person with like a super gigantic amount of steps to their skincare routine. I use makeup remover, a charcoal cleanser, hyaluronic acid, and like a moisturizer at night, and then I just use sunscreen in the morning. So I really don't have a lot of steps to my skincare routine on a daily basis. But this has been really nice because my skin is probably about like normal, a little bit more drier in the winter, but one of the things that I've noticed that this has helped is, you know, like when you don't exfoliate a whole lot, your skin just kind of feels a little bit crusty, a little bit bumpy. This is really nice to use on a daily basis. I use this underneath my moisturizer so that the moisturizer really sinks in and my skin feels a lot smoother, and it just feels really good. It doesn't break me out or anything like that. Granted, it does take a lot for a product to break me out, because like I get it from like hormones and stress and stuff, but a product has to be really, really awful in order to make my skin any sort of sensitive, because that's just not how I roll. I'm a very sensitive person, but like my skin isn't. I really like this. My skin is just like a lot smoother, a lot more hydrated. This is a good time. I need to buy more. And then the other skincare product I've been loving is this Bliss Pumpkin Powerhouse Resurfacing and Exfoliating Enzyme Mask, because I really like the Lush Cup of Coffee face mask. I know that it's really harsh for your skin. You shouldn't use really harsh physical exfoliants. Probably because my skin isn't very sensitive, I've been able to get away with it for a long time, but I recognize, you know, that's probably not the greatest thing for me to do to my skin long term. I'm also kind of taking a break from buying from Lush at the moment because I think like the founder is doing like some weird things in the light of Black Lives Matter, and so I'm kind of like, whatever. I'm looking for alternatives to that. So anyway, I bought this. You will have seen this from my little Ulta Essentials haul, and I actually really like this. Now, the first time I wore it, my face looked very weird. It kind of looked like, I call it pumpkin spice vomit because that is exactly what it looks like on your face. It smells like pumpkin and it looks like vomit when you put it on your face. It's gross. It looks disgusting. But when you actually apply it, it's really nice because the pumpkin in it is kind of the exfoliating part of it, and pumpkin is significantly less harsh than like your standard coffee scrub, or I would say like your St. Ives apricot scrub, because y'all should know by now that you shouldn't be using the St. Ives apricot scrub. But if you're someone who likes a physical exfoliant like I do, this is really nice because it has kind of like those same sort of exfoliating properties as those other ones, but it is not nearly as harsh. It's just pumpkin. There really isn't that much to it. Like, I definitely feel like my skin is significantly smoother when I use this. Like, I'll use this about twice a week, and afterwards the next day my skin is nice and smooth, but it doesn't feel like sensitive or like I had used a really harsh product on it. I'll use this at night. I will like put it on after I take my makeup off, then I'll wash it off, do my hyaluronic acid, do my moisturizer, and this looks great. My skin looks really awesome. This is exactly the sort of mask that I need right now. I really want to try some of the other ones in this line. A lot of the others seem to be kind of like oil control, acne cleansing, stuff like that that I don't particularly need, that I think would probably dry my skin out a little bit more than I want it to, or that I really need at the moment. This one is probably definitely the best choice for me, and I really like it. I think that this is so fun, and like the entire line is just kind of like food smelling ones. Like, I was initially drawn in because there's like an oil control one that's like mint chocolate chip, which is objectively one of the best flavors of ice cream ever. So I really truly don't need those sort of skincare benefits, but I kind of want it. And then lastly, I have a hair care product, which is the IGK Beach Club Volumizing Texture Spray. Now, obviously I haven't gone for a haircut since February. Like, Case and I have given each other like the undercuts, which I really do need to do because the sides of my hair are looking funky, but I haven't done anything to the top of my hair since February, which is problematic because like I'm starting to lose like the swoop of my hair, and my swoop is like iconic. So I have very like thick, naturally wavy hair, and that's why I'm hesitant to even like go for the top of my hair and try and do that myself, because honestly one of the reasons that I do keep it short is because I don't really like going in and doing anything styling or like styling wise with my hair in a very intense way, because it's so thick that it just gets frustrating with me. But this spray is really nice. I noticed it when I moved because I think I got it as a sample from Sephora a long time ago and I just never used it. And I actually haven't put it in my hair yet, so let me just go ahead and do it. But this is nice because it kind of negates the fact that my hair has gotten super long, and it gives it like a nice amount of volume, a nice amount of wave texture. I like a good sea salt spray because it just helps with my natural wave. I really don't do a whole lot to my hair, but sea salt sprays always feel really nice. I don't like that it's an aerosol can. I know that that's bad for the environment, but also a lot of the like squirt cans that I've tried with sea salt sprays really doesn't do as much as I think an aerosol can does, so I have a lot of mixed feelings about that. I shouldn't, you know, destroy the environment for the sake of my hair care. I just really wanted to try this. I would potentially buy in a full size because this is a very good quality product. I like, as you can see, like my hair is looking nice and wavy now that I put it in my hair, and my hair looked wavy before, but it looks extra wavy now. So this is really nice. It also smells really good, like very nice and tropical. Like, I can't pick out any specific notes, but it just smells like generic tropical, you know? So, and that's what we're going for here. Okay, and then lastly, I have some jewelry faves before I get into like TV, movies, YouTube stuff that I've been watching. I'll pull out the earrings that I've gotten a lot of comments on in my videos, just because I think that at this point y'all are probably wondering where they came from. They're these really fun lightning bolt earrings. I got these from DazeyLA, which if you will look in my description box, not to self-promo, this is not, you know, sponsored or anything like that, but I do have a code. If you use Alchemist at checkout, you get 10% off at DazeyLA. And these earrings come from there. DazeyLA is all about sustainability and women-owned businesses, and so they have like their own line, and then they also stock other brands that are women-owned and sustainable, and this comes from the brand Mindflower. So you can order it off of Daisy, you can also order it off of the Mindflower's website. They're very beautiful. I'll just show you one at a time, that way I'm not like maneuvering like multiple dangly earrings. But these are really fun. They have this very interesting closure on the back, that way you're not just like having a little thing sticking out the back of your earring. They're like, I think they're made of like resin with a whole bunch of glitter. I love lightning bolts. They have this nice little chain. These are very, very fun. And speaking of other earrings that I really like, this is from a black-owned jewelry brand called BadBasement that specializes in horror-themed earrings, and I have a pair of Midsommar earrings there. You can see the little Harga temple and the bear up top. They have a few others, and I'm very, very interested in buying more because these are such like good quality. You would anticipate that since there's so much detail in them and they're like clay, that they would be really heavy, but they're really, really not. And I like them too because, you know, obviously if you know the movie, you will like recognize it, but like from a distance you will just like, oh, they have cute yellow triangle earrings, cool. So I think that these are so fun. They have some that were like Scream, Coraline, I know a few others, but those are the ones that I'm interested in the most because I really want to buy more from that shop. They just do very fun little creepy earrings, and these bring me so much joy. I have two necklaces here. They might have gotten tangled up with one another. No, they didn't. That's so good. Another shop that I have been really loving is called GlamTrashZodiac, another black-owned jewelry shop, and I got this little pendant with a little piece of quartz. Mostly the jewelry that I wear tends to be earrings, just because that makes the most sense to me. But since, you know, wearing a mask and wearing earrings is a little bit difficult upon occasion, I have really been enjoying, you know, finding a couple cute necklaces that I can pair with a lot of things. So I have this pendant. The pendant itself is like copper, and it has this really beautiful wire detail around it. This is the front of it. Even the back of it just looks absolutely gorgeous. And the owner of the shop just does really awesome wire working with like crystals in it, and it just looks so beautiful. They make a lot of necklaces as well as a lot of rings. I think rings will probably be my next endeavor into expanding my jewelry horizons. And this is actually, I think this necklace was like $25, $30, which for this amount of like detail in the wire working, I'm just very, very impressed by. And then we have this necklace, which I actually thrifted. Now, I haven't been doing thrifting as usual by any means, but my church, y'all have seen last summer I did a vlog because my church always does their annual turnover sale, which is basically like a gigantic flea market that lasts for like an entire month. And this year, obviously, we couldn't do it in person like we normally would, but they did basically have an online shop where you could get like furniture, jewelry, things like that people donated. And I got this necklace. This was like $10, and I really love this pendant. Again, this is like another quartz piece. This one is a little bit more bold. It has like the brass around it, and I think that this is so fun. I love just like pairing this with like a plain black top. I think this is so, so, so lovely, and it's really just kind of easy to put on. I really like this sort of jewelry. This really appeals to me. Let me talk about movies and TV and YouTube stuff that I have been enjoying. So I've been playing Borderlands with Case. I think I might have mentioned this in my previous favorites video, but we've made significantly more progress in it. We've made it through the little zombie part of it. We're not fully there in terms of trophies on all of it, but story-wise we made it through the like ending of the game and then the zombie bonus, and now we're on Mad Moxie's part, which is currently kicking our asses, but you know, we're not gonna give up until we platinum the entire game. And I've just been having a really fun time with it. That's a game that I've been meaning to play for a really long time, and Case got the entire collection, so we're just like making our way through it together, and I've been very much enjoying that. I've also been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, because who hasn't since March? I've been playing both the Switch version and also the phone app version. The Switch version is really nice for like if you want to chill out, if you want to just like go at your own pace, and I like that the mobile version has like specific goals that you can meet on a daily basis. That helps my little like accomplishment focused brain right there. Let's see, we watched Knives Out finally, and I really like that. I really don't understand why I waited so long to watch it. I think it might have been that part of like the hipster part of my brain that was like, well, everyone else is watching it, so I have to avoid it. But it was fantastic. I love Chris Evans in that movie. I also love Toni Collette because I'd only really seen her in Hereditary, and I know Chris Evans as Captain America, and his character is such a far cry from his Steve Rogers-esque being that I really, really appreciated it. It was such a good film. I enjoyed it so much. Let's see, I've been watching The Umbrella Academy. We're not quite through. We're about halfway through season 2 right now, and I am absolutely loving it, and all of the queerness. Klaus is absolutely my favorite, and I would really enjoy having like his entire wardrobe. That show is just so incredibly fun to me. I love it so much. We got through Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we're currently making our way through Legend of Korra right now. And I know Korra isn't like everyone's favorite, but I'm personally really enjoying it. I can definitely tell that this is a, you know, like she's definitely older than Aang has, so this one has a little bit of like a more mature storyline to it. So I am enjoying it. I'm very interested to kind of see where it goes, and I'm very excited because, you know, bisexuality, which I knew before going into this. I'm quite liking it. I am very excited to see more. I'm also forcing Case to watch all of Parks and Rec, and they've been enjoying that. And we also saw the first episode of Lucifer season 5 last night, which I'm very excited for the rest of the season if it's going to be that way. I know they just confirmed season 6. I really love Lucifer as a TV show. It is fantastic. So we're in the middle of a lot of TV right now, so that's been fun. Okay, YouTubers I've really liked. I have 2 newer ones that I have been really interested in. I've been watching a lot of Janae Daly. She does just like really cool like lifestyle aesthetic-y type videos. Since I moved here, I have just been very interested and trying to figure out like what my home decor style is, and like kind of going for smaller businesses rather than your standard like IKEA, Target stuff, which, you know, you can't always do because like money, but I think that she does really awesome like homeware pics. I love her like apartment aesthetic, so I'm absolutely going for all of her recommendations. And then the other person I've really been enjoying is YouTuber Midsize Magpie. She does mid-size thrifted and sustainable fashion videos. It's really nice because in terms of fashion videos, I really try and look for people who like have a similar body type to me, because I know that sometimes, you know, when you're looking at, you know, fashion type stuff, you don't always see yourself represented. And I know that like there are mid-sized YouTubers, but there aren't a whole lot that kind of like share my style or, you know, things like that. And she's someone who I look at her and I'm like, oh, she looks like me. She wears a lot of the same clothes that I like to wear. She definitely, like, her clothes are a little bit like lighter. I prefer a few more darker colors, but I really enjoy her kind of boho chic style. I like that she does have a focus on sustainable fashion, because I think that in the thrifting and sustainable fashion realm, mid to plus size folks often get left out because brands aren't size inclusive, or thrifting is really hard for mid to plus size bodies because, you know, since we have less options in general, the clothes that we buy, we tend to wear out until we can't wear them anymore, so they physically can't really be donated to a thrift store, things of that nature. All of that's to say is that I have really been enjoying her content, and I think that she makes great videos. She doesn't have a lot of subscribers here on YouTube, but if you're interested in sort of like boho, sustainable, thrifted fashion, you should absolutely go check her out because she needs all of the followers. And actually that reminds me of another YouTuber who I've been watching for a long time, but I don't think I've actually mentioned in a video, which I don't get because she's really great. It's a channel, And I Get Dressed. Her name's Kelly. She does like really cool plus size fashion videos. I love, love, love her fashion sense. She's very much into bright colors, bold prints, and also I really like that she does like different shapes of clothing You know what I mean? Because I think we focus so much on like women and women perceive people should wear clothing that like enhances the hourglass figure and never focuses on like, well, you know, sometimes how things are structured just like looks really cool in like an avant-garde way, and kind of taking the different shapes of runway fashion and making that like more accessible in your everyday life. And watching her channel has really encouraged me to play with how different clothes look together instead of just doing my standard like, okay, I wear my skinny jeans that nip in at the waist and I tuck my poofy blouse in so that way I look exactly how I am supposed to. But she really does a lot of cool like layering pieces that I wouldn't have thought to do before, and she just has this really awesome kind of adventurous style, and it really encourages me to get out of my comfort zone and try things that I wouldn't before, like boxy jackets, long maxi skirts, things like that. And I quite enjoy her channel. She's also just such a positive and sweet person that when I watch her content I just feel so uplifted. So I had to mention that. I've been talking too much. I have other things to do. So anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you have been loving down below. Give me some YouTuber recommendations. Give me beauty recommendations. Give me fashion recommendations. I might do a whole like fashion favorites video soon that would require me to like have all of my laundry done all at once, which I never managed to do because I'm not that organized of a person. But once I get to that point, I'm gonna do that, and it'll be really fun because I do like talking fashion. So yeah, how many things have I said through my generic outro? I don't know. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. Bye!